So Russell Brunson, thank you for being here. This is an amazing opportunity for me because we've been working for like 7 years, and I think for 5 years I never really thought about like just putting you on the call, and now we are live. So this is not only for all the Lithuanians, but all the people that follow me that we'll see in the future. So we'll have some great time. I have Lithuanians asking questions already. By the way, we bought a lot of books from you also, like Lithuanians. I think through me, we like ordered like 30 or something books of the .com secrets, and then some, I give away like 10 expert secrets book, etc., etc. All right. So I have a couple questions, but I think most importantly, can you just tell me a little bit, to everybody, can you just tell a little bit about yourself, who you are, and, short your life story?
Yeah. So it's funny because you tell your own story, it's like underwhelming. Like I'm just a normal person, to be completely honest. But 15 years ago, I started learning about internet marketing back in the early days when it was Google, and that was about it. And I became obsessed with it, and I loved it. And for the last 15 years, I've been building different companies online. But my biggest passion is entrepreneurs. I love working with entrepreneurs. I love helping and serving them because I know that every entrepreneur that I can touch and I can affect either through a book or software or something, like every entrepreneur can affect and help 10, 100, 1,000, 100,000 people. And so really, especially for the last like 4 years or so, my mission has been, how can I help empower entrepreneurs and give them the tools and the training so that they can really go out there and change their world. And that's what we've been focusing on. I've written 2 books, like you said, .com Secrets, Expert Secrets. I'm a co-founder of a software company called ClickFunnels. We just passed 51,000 active members who are using it to build sales funnels, to sell products and services and serve the world. And that's kind of what we do. And, and I've been working with you now for, you say 7 to 8 years. It's been a long time since I first met you. And we've done, how many
I think from 2010.
projects we've done together now? I've probably done the most of all your clients. Am I right?
Yes, you're my favorite one.
I just get so excited. I'm like, yes, here's more money. Let's do another one. Here's another one.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm also excited because, to see the journey. Because when we met, I think you were just kind of starting to wrestle at like Olympics training. And then like I heard like throughout like 2011, 12, I heard like a lot of stories about, you closing down, you being a scammer, that type of stuff. So, it was interesting. Like for me, the best thing is to really see the, evolution of you, and also, who you become. And that like, really helps me to understand like, damn, like all your failures are the best things to learn from, because like now you know what not to do, and like the way not to do business. And now like it's all authentic and and you just know exactly what you need to do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because like when you get started, at least for me, when you get started in this business, there's no handbook. Like, here's how to do it. I was just like, I don't know how this works. And I remember the first time I met you, and you showed me the video you done for Joseph McClendon, and I was like, I want like that. How much does it cost? And you gave me a quote, and I was like, what? People, like it was such a big number, and in my mind, it didn't even seem possible. But then, fast forward now all these years, and we've done so many projects, and it's like the return on those things are so big, and it does such a good job of authentically telling the story and getting people to connect with you. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
I actually thought it was like really small number, because at that time everybody like at that event, Brendan Bouchard was like, "That's it, like dude, you need to connect with me." I'm like, okay. It's like that was the first time, All right, so I think can you tell me like what are the biggest failures you had in life? Because most people, like especially in Lithuania, have this idea about like oh, you see this guy, he's just he's just born like natural and stuff like that. But what are the biggest failures? Can you just list of them? Some of them?
Oh, there's so many of them. I love talking about my failures. No, it's there's been a lot in my journey. I've almost bankrupted my business twice. Somehow, luckily, knock on wood, I haven't. But the one time, it was about the time when we had met, and at the time, I was young, and we had built up a company. I had about 100 employees working for me.
Sorry, Russell, can I ask you one thing? Can you record the call? Like it should be just on that window, Oh yeah. Because I cannot. It asked me for permission. And yes, this is me telling Russell to do something.
It says, please request permission for the meeting host. Am I the meeting host?
Yes, yes. You are the one. You are the one.
Help me, I have to ask permission too.
What? All right, doesn't matter. Just continue then.
Sorry about that. I'll see if I can record some other way.
Nah, it's all right. It's all right. Because I'm already recording. I'm streaming live. Like I'm doing Zoom and also OBS streaming the Zoom. You know.
There's like 30 feeds happening. No,
horrible.
So at the time, I was building a company, all these employees, and it was interesting because like overnight the whole thing imploded. Like we were using different merchant accounts and there was a big merchant account scare back then, and like everybody, I think it was like 130 entrepreneurs all lost their merchant accounts, and I lost 9 merchant accounts in one day. And it was like we had no ability to process money, and when you have 100 people working for you and there's no money coming in, like that's really scary. In about 2 or 3 weeks, every penny I'd ever saved went back into business, paying people to keep them around, and I was out of money. And that's like, man, I had $500,000 a month payroll. Like, what do I do? Like, it was so scary. And I had to start firing. I had times where I was firing 40, 50 people in a day. I was firing friends and family members, and it was hard, and it was dark, and it was scary. And I had the government coming after me because I found out later when my bookkeepers hadn't been paying payroll taxes for like over a year. Like it was just like this perfect storm of like everything bad possible happening. And I had friends and family members, some like walk out on me and just kind of turn their back, and it was just like a lonely, scary place. That people don't talk about that part of it. They just talk about the highlight reel. But, that was about the time that I had met you, and I don't know where, I can't remember where in that transition, but that was the point where it was like we were struggling, and I didn't know what to do. We had a big office. I would like leave the office, move to a tiny one, and then we were kind of in this spot where what are we gonna do? Like we got to figure that, we got to start over from scratch. And it's funny because I was so scared at the time, but looking back now, it was like such a blessing and such a gift. I think a lot of times I work with entrepreneurs who are new, and they're like, they're so scared because they don't want to take this leap forward. But like at the same time, like that's the best time. You don't have that much to lose. Like worst case scenario, like you don't have a lot that you can lose. Like I always tell younger entrepreneurs, like you don't have a lot to lose right now. Like you're young, like just go do it. Like worst case scenario, like is not that bad. It's a lot scarier when you have 100 people working for you, but we had to shrink back down, and then we started thinking like, what do we want to do with our lives and how do we want to help? And we went back and really started doing the business again. We started launching funnels in different markets. We did it in diabetic neuropathy. We did it in dating. We did it in fitness. We did it in couponing, a whole bunch of different markets, and spent about 2 or 3 years really doing the business again, getting deep into it. And then it was really fun. And then on the backside of that, that's where the idea for ClickFunnels came. That's where my books came, and just it was basically because we had gotten to the darkest spot where like I had to build companies without my friends and my network and all things a lot of times that you take for granted, right? When you grow a company. I was kind of down on the ground level, and it made us learn marketing, learn sales, learn how to do it the right way, and it became such a fun game. Like I said, and then at the end of that, the 2 or 3 year period of time when we were doing all those things, that's when I started writing the .com Secrets book. I was like, I'm gonna put all these things together. And then Todd Dickerson, my partner, and I started looking at this idea. We made this idea for ClickFunnels, and we started building that. And that's when we started connecting with entrepreneurs. And that's when for me, like this business became the most fun of my whole career. Was like we're helping entrepreneurs and helping them get their message out and get their products and their services out. And that's when it became alive for me again. So that's kind of some of the failures in between the highlight reels.
So I think you actually answered one question. It was from Osha, I think, or somebody basically said like, how do you go through your fears, through, how you break through all those like limiting beliefs, all the bullshit you basically bring from your past or from your previous jobs or whatever somebody tells you. And I think you really answered that, is that you just basically look at what you actually have to lose, right? Because if you don't have anything, especially for me, I think the biggest jump for me was also at that time, like I didn't have any money, nothing at all. I was like, F it. Like, I'm just going to do it because that, like, yeah.
Broke is kind of the same thing.
So what was your biggest down point before starting the internet? Like, why did you start in the beginning?
Well, at the very beginning of my career, so I was wrestling at Boise State University, and I just met my now beautiful wife, And I wanted to be a student athlete. I wanted to wrestle and go to school, and I wanted to marry her, but we didn't have any money. She was making $9.50 an hour, her job, which is almost minimum wage now. And so we got married, and that was my thing is like, I either have to quit wrestling and go get a job, or I got to figure out something else. And wrestling for me is you know, you've been in my house. Like I got wrestling mats in my house. Like that's like my.
You mean the palace, right? You mean the palace, because like Lithuanian terms, you have a like how many squares house?
11,000.
11,000 square house. Okay, so that's without like pool area, you know, all those fun stuff. Just the house.
You call it palace?
Yeah, that's guys. That's what you call Americans.
That's so funny. Yeah, so for me, it's like I didn't want to give up wrestling because that was my life, and so I was like, I had to figure something else out, and so that's what got me started in the business. Like, okay, how else can I make money? I need to just do something. And it was funny because I thought it would be easy. Like I saw people selling stuff on eBay, so I tried that, and like it took longer than I thought. It took almost 2 years before it started clicking for me. I started making some sales, but after it started working, then it increased really, really rapidly because it was like, so you learn how the game is played, and it's like, oh wow, that's how it works. Then you can do it again, you can do it bigger, and you can do it faster. But there's always that learning curve at the very beginning, and so that learning curve was tough because my wife was working, I was going to school, I was wrestling. I was like, you know, we literally like I remember coming home one night, and she had all her CDs from her whole life on a big stack. I'm like, what's that? She's like, this is dinner. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, we have no money for dinner. I was like, you don't? And she's like, no, like you need to get a job. Or so we had our CDs. We went down to the record store, and we gave them like 80 CDs, and they gave us back like $50, like less than $1 per CD. They gave us $50 cash. And we drove over to the grocery store and we bought groceries. And it was just like, as the provider, I was like, I'm failing. Like I'm not making any money. My wife's selling all her stuff to be able to buy groceries, and she's working all day. And that really drove me like, I had to figure this out, because now I need to quit wrestling and go get a job. But I was like, I didn't want to do that. That was my dream. And so I had to figure that out. So I was, you know, while at school, I should have been listening to teachers, I was trying to figure this out. At home, when I was supposed to be sleeping, I was figuring this out. I was just always consuming it and trying to figure it out. But then it was cool as I figured it out. So as soon as I figured it out, I started making money my senior year in school, in college. Within a year of graduating, I'd made over $1 million. So like as soon as I figured out, it scaled really, really quick. And I think that's what's so cool about the internet business. Like there's things you have to understand, but as soon as you figure out those pieces, that it can increase really, really rapidly. Where most businesses or jobs or companies, it doesn't work that way, right? Like a traditional job, like you may start, you get a good salary, but then it just sits there forever. It never really goes up. But with this, you get paid nothing for a long time, and you figure it out, and then it goes really quick. So
imagine I had the experience like 2 months, 3 months now. I've been working with the company, and I was basically paid on a agreement, and like I hate that every day I get up and like I'm selling one thing, but I'm getting the money for another thing. I'm like, it just doesn't connect at all, because like I had the agreement for this amount and then plus percentage, but once we get we get started, there was no percentage to be paid. So basically I was selling this thing and I was getting paid for hours or something. It was a nightmare. So I mean, can you imagine yourself now? You get paid by somebody controls your money in.
It would stress me out.
Cool.
Some days would be nice, but as a whole, it would stress me out.
the days you 3 days without sleep, and I'm like, F it, just pay me this amount, and I don't need to worry, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what is the secret then? If somebody just has this idea of maybe I have this, product I want to sell, I have this, hobby, how can I make money? Or I'm working with this job, how can I make money? What are the, again, I don't need to ask you probably, but 3 things, right? They have to start with, and what is the secret to success, starting from low and just start?
That's a good question. So I would say the first thing is, if you're trying to start a business, I want to make money, there's something about that where most people that's their motivation, they don't end up having success. I think it's because money, for most people, money's not the kind of motivator that'll make you, like you said, work all night for a week straight and kill yourself. money's not that good of a motivator, and like it's too easy like just to walk away. And so the first thing I say is like, if the money's motivating you, it's probably going to be a really long journey for you to get success. Number two, I say is like, find something that you are like insanely passionate about. And, you know, it could be a product, it could be information, it could be whatever it is, but something that you're so excited about that like, if you could just talk about it all day long, you would do it just because like you're obsessed with it, right? Like, marketing for me, like I'm so obsessed with, like I would do this whether I got paid or not, because it's so much fun just to talk about it and think about it and dream and draw circles on, you know, squares on the whiteboard about, like I would do it anyway. And so because I'm so passionate, like I'm doing it because I love it. And that's the first phase. And so is it finding something that you're so passionate about, you would just talk about it and do it and no matter what, because that's the key, because that's what's gonna motivate you through the lonely nights and the tiredness and all those kind of things. You know, for me, it's not a money motivator at all. Like I'm in the spot in my life where like I don't need money. Like, doesn't motivate me. What motivates me is like, if I can affect one entrepreneur and then go out and they can affect 100 people's lives or 1,000, like that's what wakes me up in the morning. That's what keeps me up at night. That's what gets me excited. That's why I'm here right now. Is like, because I know that if I can connect with somebody and then they're able to get their thing out, like that's what drives me, right? So you got to find that thing that drives you. And then the third step in this is then you got to become obsessed with the marketing of that thing.
There was a question from Aushra. She actually asked like, what's the why you get up? You know, so I think you answered just that.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And then, so the third step then is just like, then after you have this thing that you love, like you got to become obsessed with the marketing of the thing, right? So like if you are in weight loss and you lose a bunch of weight and you feel good and you're excited by that, like that's exciting, but that by itself isn't a business, right? What's the business is like the marketing of that thing. So it's like, then you go out there, let's say it's weight loss. You say you lost 50 pounds and you feel good and like you want to help other people. Like now, like becoming obsessed with like, how do I help other people? Like, how do I help more people? That gets you into the marketing and the sale. Like that makes that become exciting and alive for you, you know, and it could be weight loss, could be, you know, it could be a new product you bought, it could be whatever it is, whatever that thing is. Then you want to start sharing it. I talk about in the Expert Secrets book, like the second step there's all about like this growth phase, right? You're learning, you're studying, you're becoming obsessed with your craft, your thing. And then the next phase is then the contribution. Like now I need to share this, but how do I share it? The only way to share it is to really get good at marketing and sales and like becoming obsessed with that.
And so
don't be obsessed with money, be obsessed with something else. And after you're obsessed with that, then become obsessed with the marketing of that thing. And like, that's really the path to being successful.
And sorry guys, we are out of time. Russell cannot share the how to do, what to do, and how to market that. I'm just kidding. All right, so give me, like, they're probably gonna kill me if I'm not gonna ask you this. Can you give me like what the action step they should be doing, you know, regarding online and all the technoblog, etc. But like, you know, basic one, but just for people, the ones that, you know, can use Facebook, can use Word, you know, that type of, maybe WordPress, but you know, but what they should be doing, like, you know, what's the process of selling or getting clients online?
Cool. So I would say is, first off, like figure out what kind of person you are, what kind of content person you are. Like some people like being on video and like talking to video. Some people video scares them to death and they'd be better like recording a podcast on their phone. Or some people are better at typing, like writing. So either you're gonna be video, audio, or written. Like figure out which one of those three medias like you, like that you're the best. Like I knew if I had to wake up every morning and I had to write a blog post every day, I'd kill myself. Like I don't like writing that much. But if I'm like every time I do a podcast, like I can do that. Like pick one of those three medias, either video, audio, or text that you like the most, and everyone's going to lean towards one of those. And then so if it's writing, go start a blog. If it's audio, start a podcast. If it's video, start a Facebook Live. And then figure out your goal. Like I want to become the best weight loss expert in the world. I want to become the best, I don't know, like whatever topic it is that gets you excited, like figure out like the goal. Like I want to become the best of this thing, but then realize like you're not right now. You're not very good at that thing, but your goal is between now and the time you become awesome is to start documenting your journey every single day. So a good example, I had a mastermind meeting here in my office last night. Do you know Nathan Barry? He's the owner of a software company called ConvertKit. And they were talking about his story. It was interesting. So he struggled for 5 or 6 years to have any kind of success. And then one day he said, I'm going to start a blog and I'm gonna write 1,000 words every single day for an entire year. And And I'm going to like just do that consistently as I'm learning. I'm going to document this journey I'm going on as I'm trying to figure out this thing. So he did that. He ended up doing it for every day for 3.5 years. He ended up documenting like 1,000 words a day on a blog. And his transformation of him, and like the first like 50 blog posts nobody read. Then all of a sudden like he started getting an audience, started following, and then it just blew up. And now he's got a company that's doing over $10 million a year, and it's become this huge thing. And so I think it's documenting the journey either through audio, video, or text every single day on this journey of you trying to become whatever that thing is. And as you start doing that, as you start moving forward, when you start going in motion, all the other things will start just showing up. It's really weird how that happens in life. You start moving towards a goal, you're documenting the journey, like the answers will start coming. You'll find them through that process. It always happens. It always works.
All right, so blog, you have, let's say you write the blog, you write the videos, you create the audio podcast. How do you share that? Like what is the like, simple process, and just like if somebody really like is ready to go today, what they should be doing, technically, if you would be like, hey, do this, what would be that?
Yeah. I think the easiest thing, like Facebook right now is the easiest by far. So like you get Facebook Live podcast, whatever that channel is, do it, put it on there. And then what I would do is I would spend like $5 a day in ads just to like do a little boost on the topic and see like what happens. We started working with Anthony D. Clementi. He has a book called Biohacking Secrets, or The Biohacker's Guide to Energy.
I'm ashamed I didn't read that. It's in my drawer still.
You should read it.
I will.
What Anthony did when he started, he had 2 followers on his fan page, his mom and me. That was it. I told him, I said, do Facebook Live every single day. And then we're going to put $5 in ads behind each one and just see what happens. So you do Facebook Live with $5 in ads, then nothing happened. Facebook Live, $5 in ads, nothing happened. And we did that consistently for probably 2 or 3 weeks. And then, but every day he's trying different messages, he's sharing different things. And like, we're trying to find out what resonates with people. And then like 2 or 3 weeks in, he did this one video. We put like $5 in ads and like, it took some traction. We're like, huh. So we put $10 in ads, then 50, then 100. And it had traction. It blew up and sold a whole bunch of his books for him, a bunch of other things. And then the next day he did another Facebook Live, and then that one failed and failed and failed. But we kept doing that to find out which ones resonated with people and which ones took off. And, it's been about a year he's been doing that now. And since then he's built a list of like 50,000 customers, or 50,000 fans on his fan page, like 10,000 customers, like a big, huge business he's built off of that. But it's just, again, publishing daily and then putting a little bit behind it and just to see like what takes off. And if you have something takes off, then it's like, okay, put more money behind it and you'll see as it starts to grow.
So what would be the quick process for him to go on Facebook Live and then sell a book? Like what are the steps?
Yeah, so basically, let's see if I can do it real quick.
So he does the live. Does he drive them to a page? Does it have it in the description? Go here for the book, and then what the page does? That type of stuff. I think people what really would like to get from you is the action step. Like, oh, do this. Even if it's ClickFunnels or anything else, but like, did this, create page. Get the email. That type of stuff.
Cool. One thing I was recommending is, in our community, we always call it funnel hacking. Like, go funnel hack Anthony. Go find the Biohacking Secrets fan page and watch the videos. The videos are usually like 3 to 5 minutes long. It's usually like him introducing, hey, my name's Anthony D. Clementi. I'm going to talk to you about blah, 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 blah. Before I do that, if you like this video, please share it down below. Then I'll make some more videos like it. Okay, here's the thing. He shares like one really cool tip. And then it was like, cool. If you want more tips like this, I have a whole book with like, you've seen the book. It's huge. It's like, I got like 500 other pages of things like this. Just go to biohackersguide.com. You get a free copy of the book. And he pushes people, and that's kind of it. And just every day, a little thing like that. Like shares one tip from the thing and pushes them to a funnel where they can opt in. And if you don't have a book or you don't have something to sell yet, that's fine. You can do the same thing with just having a squeeze page, a landing page, and say, hey, if you want to get on my list to find out more cool stuff, go to raisawesome.com and put your email address in, and that way I can update you with more stuff, and just something like that to start building a list initially, or whatever that is. And then as you build the list, then you can start creating products and services to those people.
How important is to build a list or get people emails or some sort of like contact with them? Like, what would be the number of one thing you should be focusing if you're doing online? Like, what's the result, tangible result that you're looking for anybody?
Yeah, list building is still king. I mean, I'm 15 years in this game. It's still the most important thing, and people don't talk about it as much anymore as they used to. When I got started, all people talked about. There's a metric that we kind of use to measure things. Say that you should be able to make at least $1 per month per name on your email address or on your email list. If you have 1,000 people on your list, you should make about $1,000 a month. If you have 10,000 on your list, make 10 grand a month. 100,000 people on your list, 100 grand a month. So if you know, like, hey, for me to live the life I want, I need to make 3 grand a month. Like, okay, that's the goal. How do I get 3,000 people on my list? Like that should be about where you're at. And so, yeah, that's always the focus, somehow getting their contact information off of Facebook, wherever they're at, and get on email list where you can control that.
Yeah, you know, one thing that I see, I mean, like the principle doesn't change, just changes technology. You know, the chat box, I mean, like the email now is kind of going to, you know, to the Facebook, right? You can build the subscribers on Facebook. You don't even need the emails from them. Like, so let's do one thing. I think drop mic show or something like that. But like, I'm gonna go through questions and you can just answer as quick as possible, because I promised Melanie I'm gonna keep you, you know, maybe 20 minutes, but like up to 30. So 25 is okay. So maybe just a couple of minutes, and then I'll ask you questions, and can you just answer like, you know, like 10 seconds or whatever, and drop the mic, whatever, right? All right. All right. So what is the future, do you think, for the web pages when all the you know, all the communication goes through social media, social websites, and, you know, like some companies just have only Facebook you know, page, don't even have the normal page. So this is Modestas Grigaitis asking.
I think I look at Facebook or any social network at like a party. If you're the guy who walks in a party and then you're like just trying to sell people the party, like everyone's gonna like not like you. I feel like you go to these social media outlets and you're hanging out, you're being social with people, and then you invite them like back to your house, like, hey, come over here, and we got a party at my house happening. You bring them to your house, and then your house, it's your own environment, and you're more free to sell. That's why I look at Facebook. I'm going to Facebook, I'm being social, I'm hanging out with people, but I'm like, hey, over here, if you want more info, like, come back to my house, come join my funnel, come up to my list. I'm gonna take the conversation over there, because it's more like people don't want to be sold at the party. Like, they don't want to be sold on social media, because it's like this weird. I mean, they do, it happens, but I still think that the key is like bringing them away from that social environment to an environment where you control it, and that's why funnels are the key.
I'll always have this like my favorite thing to have an examples is like, you know, sex and relationships. So if you're hanging out with a party, you don't want to have sex in that, you know, in that party. You want them to take them home, right? But you only take them home when they are ready, right?
Yes. Yeah. There you go.
All right. So how much did you invest in yourself overall? Like everything, pretty much. How much did you pay, you know, to yourself?
How much money do I pay myself, or like do I invest in like education?
Yeah, paid yourself, meaning, you know, how much you invest in yourself, meaning, you know, paid for courses, for mentors, for everything else. How much like it would be?
A lot, probably a lot more than anyone else would think is realistic. I've got 2 coaches right now that I spend a lot on. I buy every course. I would say conservatively at least, well, as one mastermind group, I pay 100 grand a year just for that one mastermind group. So probably 250, 300 grand a year I spend in coaching.
So like from like, you know, 2005, whatever, you know, the time is like.
Well over $1 million at this point. I don't know the exact number, but definitely over $1 million.
All right, cool. What's the main goal of writing books, and on the way that other kind of benefits it brings? So what's the point of writing books?
For me, it's legacy, 100%. It's weird, as our business has grown. I'm at the spot now, if I create a new product, I sell it, and we see a little blip in like money goes up a little bit, but it kind of dies. For me, books are like this legacy thing. Like, they last so much longer, and so that's my main reason for writing books. In fact, I was never gonna write a book again, and now, since after the Expert Secrets book has been out there, like, I'm seeing the impact and the legacy it's building. So totally 100%. I've got basically every year for the next few years, I'm gonna be doing a book a year now. So
cool. So Mantas asked, what your clients like or dislike about the way you present your product or services? So meaning, like, you know, what the haters or the clients don't like and like.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like me, and I love it. So I'm a big believer in polarity. So polarity is like where if you're neutral, you're boring, no one listens to you. If you have polarity, there'd be a group of people that hate you, but then it means there's a group of people that love you. And so because I have so much polarity in my marketing, like, there's definitely people that don't like me. But because I have raving fans who are obsessed with what we do. And so I just think that's important. I think that if you don't have polarity, then if you're trying to be neutral, then nobody pays attention to you. And so I think it's essential to be willing to have that. And it's tough at first because you have to have thick skin, because some people, again, aren't going to be happy, but it's the way to create the raving fans and really build a mass movement of people who care that you can affect their change in their life.
I actually spoke with somebody, and I think I'd given the advice also, like, if you look at the God and the devil, if you're in the middle, you're invisible, right? Like in the marketplace, also you're invisible, because like you're not talking to this guy or to this guy. And if you're talking to this guy, this guy is gonna hate you, right? All right. So anything about cryptocurrency? Anything?
I don't. So my partner Todd is obsessed with it, and he has made so much money, drives me crazy. So he got me a Coinbase account, and so every day I buy Bitcoin and Coinbase. And that's my extent of my knowledge. I have no idea other than that.
Cool. And a last question from my from Neringa, right? You know who Neringa is?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. So Neringa asked, like, because you kind of answered the question, but the second half. So she asked, like, why from all the animators or the people in the world you chose me to work with?
Because you're awesome. No, the biggest. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but like most animators are good at animating, but you have to cast the vision. With you, it's different. Like, you cast the vision. You know what I mean? Like, you have a marketing mind, and so yeah, like that's the biggest thing. Like you take so much of that load off my shoulders. Like when you did the Avengers video, like I gave you zero direction. You're like, "Can I do a video?" I'm like, "Yeah," and then like you came out with that thing. I was like, it was nuts. It was crazy, right? Like if I would have worked with anybody else on that project, it would have been me every single night, every single day, like trying to like cast that vision. And it's like you take that upon your shoulders and you run with it. And I just trust you with that. Like I can just,
like, one thing, and kind of like, brings me even tears to my eyes when I remember, because I just put so much into it. One thing I tell everybody, and, if you can second me that, it's like, it's not what you do. It's not what the service you provide. It's what it's not what you do. It's what you, what your client doesn't have to do. I think that's what it's all about in the business and services, especially. Right?
That's cool. No, you are the best of that for sure. So
thank you. So the last question, like, so people should be doing funnels, right? Like, you have 14-day trial. What they should be doing, like, now, instantly, CTA, right? Call to action now, just to do that. Make them believe. I tell them, but they don't believe me. They think I'm full of shit. So can you tell them, like, do this, and go to ClickFunnels and sign up for their account?
Yes.
Through my link.
Yeah, go through Ray's link. There's a 14-day free trial. Sign up, and then we just made a game. There's a game. So you log in, and there's a 7-day game to try to get you build your first funnel in the first 7 days. I just want you to go and play the game for 7 days. And at the end of 7 days, first off, you'll have a funnel done. You have your first domain purchase. So like everything will be done. And if it's not, then you got 7 more days to go back through it again. And after 14 days, like Russell's didn't work, then just let us know, and you lost nothing, and you just got a bunch of free education. But the game is really cool. The game is, it's not just like a dumb game where you're like the game is a training and education. So throughout the game, you will learn marketing, you learn sales, you learn funnels, you learn everything. It's all 100% for free, because my goal is to get you your first funnel. So you just go through the game, go through the process, play it, and then time it's done, you have a funnel that's live, and then all of a sudden you're like, I know how to use ClickFunnels. I know how this works. I understand funnels. I understand sales. And so, 14-day free trial, it's a 7-day game. You can play it twice. And at that point, you can decide if it's worth it for you or not. But what will happen if you follow the steps is you'll end out with your first funnel, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can actually do this. Biggest thing I found, people, they have to have belief they can do it. And the biggest reason why people leave ClickFunnels, they create an account, they never create anything, they leave. If I get someone just to do it, and all of a sudden you're like, I could actually do that. That is actually, not only was it easy, it was really, really fun. Then you'll just keep using it and consuming it, and it'll change your life. So just do it. Just do it.
Yes, and one thing amazing in ClickFunnels, if you want to finish your free trial, you definitely got to learn something, right? It's like this is how you do marketing. This is how you actually make people stay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Russell. I'm say sorry to to Melanie for this, but amazing to have you. Again, like You need animation? Come to me. Or you need like, you know, help? Come to me. All right? Just kidding.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you. You're always been awesome to work with, and you, you're
right. And we have, hey, by the way, we really need to make, I mean, like the character definitely needs animation. Like really can make it, you know, really fun. And I'll give you a big discount again. But like, you know, I love that. Everybody actually loves that. So just let me know.
Cool.
Yeah. And the Lego video was, oh my God. Okay. All right. Thank you. Have a nice day. All right. That's it.
Awesome.
What's that funny? Oh, Melanie. Okay.
Melanie's laughing. She's over there pacing. She gets all nervous.
All right. Melanie, you can just switch it off. All right. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
All right. Thanks.